What's happening? Andy here. I'm joined today by Jeff Jenney of Van Ausdall Farrar, and I am joined with Kristen Goldberg of Canon. Almost forgot who I'm talking to. How are you guys?
Doing
How
great. How
did
are
you
you?
forget me, Andy?
I didn't forget you. I didn't forget you. It's just a lot. The Farrar threw me off. It's a longer name than I'm used to. Too many syllables, but very good to see you. Very good to see you. We wanted to check in. We've got a great Canon dealer celebrating the biggest milestone I think I've celebrated with any dealer on all these what's happening podcasts we've done. So, Jeff, tell us a little bit about your company, where you guys are located, and then we'll get into the big celebration.
Awesome, Andy. It's so nice to be here. Thanks for the opportunity to talk. Yeah, we're super excited as well. As Van Alstyne Farrar is headquartered here in Indianapolis, we're celebrating 110 years this month. Actually, tomorrow is our big event, so it's going to be quite a party. But we started as an original Thomas Edison dealer, and pretty proud of our roots. The fact we actually have a museum here at our headquarters with a lot of those products from the 1800s that all go around through the decades. But re-energized brand that's focused on delivering value for our customers by solving problems in all four categories that we have with security, compliance, and automation. And just excited to have an opportunity to talk today.
Well, let's just a little bit more about you guys. What do you do today? You do obviously do office equipment. Canon's a partner. That's no secret. That's why Kristen's right here. And
Yeah.
so I'm guessing printers, MFPs. What other areas do you guys provide for your coverage for your customers?
Yeah, so four main categories are print, process, IT, and communication. And so, blessed to be a partner of Canon for north of 15 years, and always appreciate working with them. But in our process side, we actually created our own SaaS application in the 90s called SpeechMotion, and we have over 300,000 doctors dictating in every state. We have a data center in Germany. We resell that internationally. We have a document conversion center. We actually have our own print center here. We've been a Highland On-based partner for over 3 decades, and so ECM with them and Square Nine on the communication side, doing business telephones and cloud with Ring Central 8x8, and then our IT business is we're incredibly excited about right now. We're on the last leg of earning our SOC 2 certification, and so cyber's popping for us, managed services, but big emphasis on infrastructure and security for our customers as well.
Well, congratulations on that milestone. That's a biggie.
Yeah.
Getting through those certifications is no picnic. Before we just move on, I want to what did you guys start as? What was Edison? Was it communications, or what were the products that you guys sold back then? Obviously not
So,
copiers.
yeah, no, no. So it was Ediphones actually, right? And so one of the uh, uh, I would say oldest pieces of technology we have from here in our museum is actually a machine that did the first lesson in school. So it had a wax cylinder in it. You spin a dial, and it would actually do an arithmetic lesson. It would say 1 + 1 = 2. So it's pretty fascinating stuff. You can kind of see it move throughout the decades. It's the largest private collection in the world that's here. So it's a pretty neat, unique experience when our customers come to visit us.
Well, 110 years. I think that gives you guys the record. I'm going to throw down the gauntlet to anybody else watching this video. I know of a couple that have turned 100 recently, but you guys take the cake. Kristen, you're at a company that you're only 90 years old.
Right, right. We're babies here at Canon, so we're just over
Yeah.
over 90 years. But yeah, and to Jeff's point, I was able to visit the Voice Museum that they have at the entrance of their building in Indianapolis, and wow, it is so impressive. And I did hear that lesson. I went home and played it for my kids, made sure they were doing their math homework. But
Is
yeah,
it
so
still
90
it still
years.
it still works? It still
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 fires
works.
works,
up.
still works.
Very
So
cool.
yeah,
Well, let's
90
let's
years from Canon. Yeah,
let's step back. Let's talk
sure,
about what the group from Canon that you represent and
sure.
kind of ties in obviously to Jeff, but tell us what group you're with and what you do for Canon, please.
Yep. So I'm a director of marketing in our business communications group. So specifically, I handle our office printers, but also our software solutions that integrate with the printers as well, in the areas of workflow software, print management software, and the like. Also support some of our new business areas as well. I've been with Canon. Actually, just this morning, I celebrated my 20-year service award. recognition breakfast. So thank you. Big day to Canon.
Congratulations.
Yes. Thank you. Again, a baby, 20 years, not 90 or 110, but 20 years here with Canon. Within my group, we handle a lot of the product marketing efforts of the solutions that I mentioned, and we also support our sales channels through various, events and activations. So pretty recently, we went out to visit Jeff and his team at Van Ausdall Farrar. We were able to, in addition to seeing the Ediphones that they have displayed there, we also spent 2 days with Jeff and his team. We held kind of a training event on the sales reps, a demorama, kind of a deep dive into Canon solutions and technology on the first day. And then the second day, we came back and invited some of the key customers and prospects that they have out there, and supported with a Canon keynote and some additional demos, Q&A with some of their VIP customers. So
that's a fun couple of days.
Yeah, it was a really fun couple of days. We had people from the field out there. We had 6 people actually from headquarters come out and support this event from New York. So it was a really great time. And, we're happy to be one of the sponsors of the 110-year anniversary event that's taking place tomorrow as well.
Well, you guys are always, whenever I go to any of these events, Canon has always been pretty good about sending people out. I was at one earlier at a dealer in San Francisco last year. I saw a bunch of you guys out there. A number of people. Corinne was out there, I think. So, big or small, it doesn't matter. But we're talking about just a couple of milestones here, between 90 years you, but 110. It still just blows me away that a business in our world has hung on that long and changed that many times and added that many different types of technologies to sell. I mean, you really have to keep evolving. So, how do you guys do it? When you're Jeff, when you're selling, is it broken up? Do you have people specializing in all different areas, or does one rep represent the company to the customer, and he or she may be selling Canon, they may be selling managed services, they may be selling phones? How do you break it up and manage that in your world?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a layered approach for us. We have our enterprise reps that will sell all of our solutions, and it kind of depends on how quickly that they get enabled and trained and certified on that. And then for our different business units, we'll have what we call technology solutions consultants that are more focused on a single category, and then they'll do leads. We're very focused on cross-selling. And then we have specialists that overlay those as well. So we'll have a managed print specialist, we'll have a VCIO, we have a security specialist, we have a document conversion specialist. And so we'll support those sales efforts for our generalist, I'll call them, when they get an opportunity that comes in. And then we have our enterprise reps that are broken by client size as well.
Now, do you do production print as well?
Absolutely. And Canon's got the best line.
Canon does have, you can say it's the best. I'll say it's definitely one of the best for sure.
I'll say it's the best.
Kristen can say it's the best too. I love all my children, so they're all very good at what they do.
I almost caught you on that one, Andy.
It is a fantastic line, from top to bottom. You guys have arguably one of the most complete lines. You start at little tiny personal photo printers up to some of those big giant, formerly Osei, now Canon products, the 300 and inkjet, and just we call it big iron, right? Drupa is just winding down. I know you probably didn't get to go, but my little birdies over there were telling me about the Canon building, not booth, building, right? When they do a show over there, it's buildings. It's not, and Canon has their own. It was quite a show, and you guys are at the forefront of the technology. Coming back to you, Jeff, tell me, what are a couple of the things you really enjoy working with Canon? You have a lot of vendors, in all the different worlds you work in. You've been a longtime Canon dealer. What are some of the things that you like about Canon?
Yeah, Andy, we really believe that our manufacturer partners are an extension of our management team, right? To help us, which I think is the most important thing for us to go and support our growth initiatives, is to go win that new business, right? And so for that to happen, we need investment and partnership from our partners. And I think Canon really steps up in all capacities. Number one, programmatically, they support us from pricing and different things so that we can go and be very competitive in the marketplace and get net new. The solutions that they have, software, the big focus on security. I mentioned that we're on that last leg to get our SOC 2, and so that's a real big focus for us is security, and they really step it up for their solutions there. marketing help. I mean, she just said, I think there was more than 6. There was close to 10.
Yeah, yep. We
Versus,
had at least the 6 we had from headquarters, we also had in the field. So we had
Well, you
over
probably had free drinks and you were feeding them, I'm guessing.
absolutely. That's critical, right? We're going to get to that, but their marketing help, technical support, but most importantly, showing up. Right, we just talked about that, and them having resources here. Getting belly, eyeball to eyeball, making sure that we're sharing best practices, and then developing our people so that they can really focus on solving problems for the customers when they really understand the technology, the differentiation. Because you're right, we do have other tools, and so in my mind, that investment helps them differentiate better and then solve problems for their customers.
Yeah,
So
and I
Chris,
think if I can, sorry, just add to that, I think
yeah.
there's some alignment in terms of our values, right? I mean, we're joking around 110 years and 90 years, but there's a commitment to evolving with changing needs of our customers. There's a commitment to our customers. There's a commitment to, delivering quality product solutions and services that I think is shared across both Canon and Van Ausdall Farrar.
100%, you bet.
So Kristen, when you put together an event like this, because it sounded really, I used to love those kinds of things when the vendor would come in, and even if it was just the DSM would come in and just do a little training, it was nice. It broke up the day, the week. We learned something, and I joke, but we probably got pizza or sandwich out of it or something. So as a rep, I like that, right? And it was fun. It was just not banging on doors like we would normally do. So,
Sure.
like how and every one of your dealers are different, right? So
Sure.
what's the approach like when you go to someone like these guys and you set something up for 2 days? You have two components. You have a training day and then you have a customer day. Is it different people from Canon doing different things? Is it, are you training different groups? Are the production being trained? Is it just an overall, here's what Canon has? Tell me how you guys, break up their couple of days with that.
Sure. So we had our larger events last year. We had a summit to go a summit in 2 different locations in Las Vegas and in Nashville.
Nashville, I was there.
Yep. And throughout those 2 events, we had over 500 attendees from our dealer partners, representing almost 150 of our dealers. And after that, we kind of wanted to extend that. Ooh, my lighting just changed. We kind of wanted to extend that a little bit and really do more custom events at our dealer locations. So we call these our Summit to Go events. So they're much smaller scale, usually about 15 people that we'll have at these events, and they're really customized based on what each specific dealer wants to see. So we did 6 of these last year, reaching just over 150 people throughout the events. This year, we've already done 5. We have 2 more scheduled actually taking place next week. And I think to your point, it's not just about the training, but it's also about the relationship building and being able to establish, those relationships that can help you going forward and that can help you. You have someone to call if a question comes up or if you have a customer need. But we basically design our agenda based on what that particular dealer wants to see. Sometimes it's just a training. Sometimes it's a training combined with a customer event. And we kind of pull in the right people depending on what topics, are of interest to that particular dealer. So we'll cover anything from the enterprise side, the production side. We get even into the specialty printer side and the card and label printers. We'll get into verticals. So that was one of the topics that we handled at Van Ausdall as well, is that we did specific on education and how to sell into that space. So sometimes we'll go into those areas. Uniflow and our print management solution is another hot topic area. Smart services and remote services is another area that we offer for these events. So it's really kind of pick and choose based on the particular areas of interest for that specific dealer.
So then the customer day, the next day,
Yeah.
is it in the field or is it back at your place, Jeff? Where do they do it?
We hosted, I don't know, about even 15 customers that we were looking to move share shift business from one of our manufacturers we've chosen not to resell anymore and move them over to Canon. And so we're grateful that they were all there to support us and show them how great Canon technology is to help make it an easy decision to move, stay with Van Ausdall, but move over to Canon too.
So that's got to be fun visiting with the customers, and it's a little bit different, right? Your audience is different when you're presenting. So,
Right.
did you close any?
Absolutely. I don't think we missed on any of them. So
Really?
they're
15 for
invited
15,
in.
that's pretty good.
They're invited in actually every week now, so that we don't ever lose.
Well, those events are just extremely valuable. And, I can tell you that customers, when I did it, I'm sure nothing's changed. It's one thing when the annoying sales rep is in there. It's another thing when, the OEM comes all the way from, in your case, New York, right?
Mhm.
And a whole team of them. That I think can impress the customer, can, make them feel that they are as important as you keep telling them. Like, look, we brought our manufacturer in. We wanted them to hear your story. We wanted to hear, we wanted them to hear how, you're uniquely using these products and some of the things you like, because that feedback, I think, is important for Canon to hear. They need to hear what you need to sell the product, but they also need to know, what the customer wants at the end of this. They're the ones using the technology. And, it's not going to get sold if the customer doesn't like it, right? So there's got to be some conduit between the customer and Canon. I think you're it, right? So bringing them in, taking an afternoon or a full day to bring people through your organization and see the operation and meet your people and then meet the Canon people. Obviously hugely valuable when you're 15 for 15 or almost 15 for 15. That's an incredible close ratio. So I would say keep doing that. And Kristen, maybe you should start visiting more dealers. I don't know, you'll never be
Happy
home.
to.
So you said you had 7 dealers you visited this year.
This year we've done 5 so far, and we have 2 taking place next week. One back to back happens to be in same state, couple different cities. So
Do you have is it the same people pretty much going out at all of these events? Is it a team?
it depends on the topics. I specifically handle the enterprise, so within my team we kind of rotate around our marketing folks and our planning folks, and so you'll always have someone from the enterprise marketing team there, and then depending on the various topics, it's
So you'll
a
get
lot of times
marketing, you'll get production, you'll
Yep,
get
exactly. Large
my buddy
format.
Shaylin. Will he be at these events sometimes? Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
yep,
for
yep.
NT wear. Yes.
Yep,
Um,
yep. We have some NT-Wear folks supporting. Actually, next week they'll be out there. We covered that with Jeff's team as well. So, yep, absolutely.
well, very cool. You guys have a great story here. I don't know how you get to 110 years, but I'm working on it. We're usually I get to upstage everybody when they say how old they are, and I get to say, well, we're 50, and you buried us. I don't even like 110 years selling Edison equipment. It's a great story. I look forward to someday coming up there and seeing that museum. I think that's got to be fascinating. I'm a bit of a nerd for companies in this industry, obviously. We're a third generation company. My son's working here now too in our marketing department. So Kristen, this was great. Thank you so much for setting this up. And Jeff, anything you'd like to any messages for anybody? Any last shout outs for anyone? I'll go back and forth to both you. Jeff, start with you.
I'm just grateful for the partnership, from Canon. Like you mentioned, they had the summit event here. We have our 110-year anniversary party. They're supporting us, and then we have a roundtable next week that we'll be going out to share best practices. With leadership from other dealers. That you mentioned it, right? The agenda that we create is a collaboration between what we think we need to develop our people and our reps, and for our leadership too. We need development, and Canon does a great job of listening and then tabling issues that are really relevant to, I think, our growth. And very grateful to be a partner of theirs.
Well, those dealer councils are probably some of the most valuable things you can do as a vendor, right? Because it's tough medicine. You don't sometimes want to hear what these guys are saying, but look, most of you have multiple brands you can sell, and the vendor needs to hear where can we improve, where not everything is always roses. I'm sure Canon's got some things that they probably in your world you wish they did a little differently, and at that meeting you'll probably discuss that, and then Canon has the opportunity to change that for you. So if you don't have that meeting, they never hear it. They don't know. So I just any company that's working with dealers like you, I think that kind of counsel is worth its weight in gold. Kristen, how about you? Any last shout outs? I know we were just at an event. Jake was down in Virginia at your uh,
Yes,
at your Virginia plant down there, and saw some
that's
pretty
right.
incredible toner
Did he go home with his
remanufactured.
honey made from the
He
bees down
loves the
there?
honey. We're trying to write an article. That's all he wants to write about. He's highlighting the honey,
It's the honey.
but that's Canon, right? You guys, a lot of the times you will mix with business, with very conservative, staunchly
Right.
business organizations, all of a sudden there's this little nature side piece attached to
Right.
it, or something to do with environment. Or I feel like every event I have ever gone to with Canon, there generally is some sort of breakout or some sort of, at the very least, an environmental presentation. But often even a walk through a Japanese garden that you will find in cities that I didn't know existed. It's an incredible culture, and you guys are
Yeah.
very tight with it. But let's hear it from you.
Yeah. Yeah, so what Andy's referring to is we invited a few folks down to our facilities in Canon, Virginia, where we have a number of recycling efforts, as well as a beekeeping sanctuary that we developed honey and provided to the guests as well. But there's a lot of really cool and interesting stuff that we're doing down in Canon, Virginia, and that's not limited to Canon, Virginia. But Andy, I think from Canon, our Kiyose philosophy, living and working together for the common good, and it's really just kind of built into the grains of our DNA. So we're very proud of that. We were happy that Jake was able to join us for that trip. But yeah, I'm grateful, Andy, for the opportunity to talk to you, connect with you again, and to see Jeff. And again, you don't get to 110 years, and you don't get to 90 years without forming those strong partnerships that we have. So grateful for that. And even though we have been partners for so long, I think some of this recent activity almost feels like a new rejuvenated jumpstart for us. So we're very much looking forward to partnering with you and your organization, Jeff. And thank you, Andy, for the opportunity.
Well, thanks for coming on, guys. You guys have been very busy out there at Canon. Jeff, I look forward to coming out there at an event at some point, and spending some time seeing your operation. Tipping my hat for 110 years. I can't believe it. And
Andy,
I
I'm
think you've
bringing
got
out
the
here.
record.
Andy,
I'll
I'm
put on my
coming.
hat so I can tip it as well.
That's right. I'm bringing you out here as long as I get a hat.
Well, we
Deal?
got hats for you and your team, and we'll have some special ones made up for you. How about that?
Sounds like a deal.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for coming on, and we'll get this up there soon, and hopefully we'll be together at some point sooner than later out in Indianapolis. And I'm sure, Kristen, I'll be seeing you very soon.
Awesome. Thanks, Andy.
Thanks,
Jeff.
guys.
Thank you.